Hello everyone, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check for twin flames. Today we're gonna do a fun check-in, seeing what's going on with divine masculines. Haven't done that for a while, so I decided why not. Let's use Sunday as that opportunity. So we will ask a few questions and we'll see what's going on with divine masculines in their energy in 5D space. Then what are they thinking about, what's going on with their feelings, more kind of 4D level. And then 3D is going to be what actions are they taking in their environment right now, what are they doing. And of course the fourth one will be about their feelings towards the feminine, towards the connection at this time. And I do have, let's do the feelings towards the connection in general, like relationship, what are they thinking about it. And then as for feelings for feminines, we have this oracle deck with messages, and I'll pull a few of cards for that at the end. I'm gonna start with an oracle deck, and actually the first card I will pull will be for divine feminines watching. Card of support, card of advice, what is important to pay attention to. We're still in that new moon in Virgo energy. It's pretty powerful, and as we are slowly getting towards the equinox that's going to be happening next Saturday, the energy is building up. So if you've done your intention setting, your manifestation ritual, whatever else you are doing during this new moon energy, this is the time to watch for how it plays out then. And not just watch, of course, take steps, but it's very important to kind of like take a step and then check what's going on with energies. How's it playing out? Like, how is universe supporting, not supporting it, right? So you can also fine tune those goals or the approach that you take about them. Maybe your goal is on point, but the way you approach it needs some tweaking. So this upcoming week is going to be really good for that. Also, I will do a word of advice or messages from spirit for each of the zodiac signs for the equinox. I'll do that on my other channel where I do horoscopes, so make sure you check out that. I will probably do one reading with like going all through all the signs, but there will be timestamps, so I will publish it either today or tomorrow, not sure yet, but watch out for that one. Those will be more specific for the equinox time and what is important to notice, to do, to pay attention to during that equinox energy. Okay, feminines, you have desert passage, trust there is a divine plan. So this is that full card kind of identification with a little bit of spice to it, because this is when you don't really see much of opportunity necessarily. The desert in itself seems like it's dry, it's hot, you're in survival mode. Maybe you're looking for signs, for clues, like where is that break, where is that salvation, I don't know, what is that oasis, and you may not see it for a while. So if you don't see it this week, just know that it's there, it's coming, and for some reason that's the important part of the journey, where you are now. In terms of the twin connection, I'm sensing that there may be less of communication or clarity on what's going on. That may feel like you are in the desert, you don't really know where the other person is at, what is the next step. You're kind of like just finding your way around, and that's also there for a reason, because that's what the energies of both twins need to get to the next step. Okay, and let's get the card for the masculines now, and we'll proceed with masculine energy. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. Yeah, this is also great advice for the beginning of a new cycle. Seeing, especially if you've changed some of your habits, got rid of certain activities, certain people. This is a kind of like the aftertaste of it, of like the kind of the ripple effect, right? What does it mean in your life at a larger scale, right? Like maybe if you don't do that activity anymore, there is certain stuff at your home, certain equipment, I don't know, clothing, whatever you were using for it that you don't need anymore either, right? So maybe that's like an extra step to clear out the space even more. And that of course can be taken figuratively in terms of relationships and things you used to do, or the way you used to do the conversation to get to an agreement, right? Maybe that person, and that could have been a struggle, that person isn't in your life anymore, so you don't have to use that approach, that technique, you know, that way of negotiating. You can move on to something more healthy and lighthearted, right? Those kind of ideas. Whew. And I feel like you'll need that light-hearted travel mode for what comes next on the journey, for the equinox and eclipse season, right? That will just add to the burden or add to the struggle, make things move slower for you. So you don't want that. So make sure you're traveling lightly. The same way as if you know you literally are traveling, we actually have this guy over here with this box, right? Like imagine that in the older days that like you used to travel with all of your possessions, right? You didn't really do much travel of like, yeah, I'm gonna go for a week and come back. Or even if you did, you still had a lot of stuff with you that you'll need for a week, right? So if you have this amount of stuff, it's a lot harder to move around, especially if you're on foot, than if you have just that little bag, right? It's that kind of idea. Okay, I'm gonna use this Sophia Charles deck today as the main reading. We'll need 4 cards for our 4 questions, and then I'll pull the clarifiers from After Tarot. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This really helps me circulate these messages. I'll probably do more videos on this channel that will be more thematic or a little bit more on the twin journey in general rather than just daily tarot check-in. I'm still considering a few options that I want to do, but this is just an announcement for the fall that there will be more things happening here. I'll get back to my blog. I feel like there is much more guidance that we'll need as a collective in terms of navigating certain emotional pathways and understanding the connection and understanding what certain understanding feedback from your twin on where they are, what they are doing, how they talk to you, like how do you interpret that. That will also has a very tight connection to the personal growth, to the inner work, and just how the twin journey is designed. Bottom of the deck there, 8 of Cups. Yeah, so I feel like that for both twins, it's like letting go of either limiting thoughts and beliefs or letting go of certain things that just are a remnant of something archaic, you know, something that isn't part of your life anymore, but you have it there because it's by now it's like it's automatically there, or you do certain things by inertia, right? But if you really think about it, you don't need them in your life. Like they're just taking time and energy. Okay, we have 4 cards in After Tarot. Bottom of the deck, Temperance. Yeah, patience. One foot in front of the other, right? And trusting that whatever you're sending out, that's that manifestation part, that it's gonna reach its target, it's gonna get there, as long as you stay in that balanced state yourself. Okay, so what's going on in the 5D space? First of all, we go 5, 4, 3D. 3 of Swords, clarified by the Devil. And because it's After Tarot, it's already the part where the twins are, or the twins, the counterparts are getting down to business, right? So what I'm getting here, that there may be some heartbreak energy that the masculine is healing at this point, that is connected to the physical intimacy, or how they've had or didn't have it in previous relationships. What does it depend on? You know, that from like the deeper psychotherapeutic stuff, the way that we approach sexual intercourse and how we connect with the other person, it has a lot to do with again, the mindset, the belief system, the way that the attachment style that we have, the way we were nurtured as children, etc. It's like it has a lot of that deeper motivation. We're talking 5D here, so this is very deep, right? And so this is almost like healing certain deeper attachment patterns in order to better the connection, the energy exchange during the physical intercourse, during the sexual intimacy. It may or may not feel that way to the masculines, although I'm getting for a lot of them this healing was triggered by certain experiences they've had sexually in the recent past. Or maybe it's just one of the relationships that comes up to their mind right now that they're worried about, right? Like, that was weird, or I didn't feel safe there, or whatever it was, right? And now it's coming back to them, and because of that purely sexual experience, they're now going back in their 5D space into like healing the deeper trauma from childhood. On the 4D space, so thoughts, mind space, Page of Cups, clarified by 9 of Pentacles. So yeah, this is like that self-love space, but it's almost like, especially with this page turning away from the cup, I'm getting that there's still things that they don't really, where they don't believe in themselves, where they see some faults or they don't feel confident. And I don't mean overconfident or proud, I mean like they don't feel they're worthy of certain abundances in this world, you know, like they feel like they still, a lot of it is wishful thinking, that it'd be great to have that, to be there, but I don't really think that it's realistic. It's almost like they're already pre-thinking about how it's gonna go wrong, how they're gonna mess it up, or the universe is just gonna break it off like it was happening before, like it usually happens, right? It's too good to be true kind of sense, and that's why they go into this self-sabotaging mode. A lot of it I'm getting is also connected with this new moon and new cycle, where there's a lot of clearance of the old stuff, and there may be a void period where there isn't, like, almost like if you cleared out your older programming, then when you carry on with your life, you don't have that to fall back on just intuitively or subconsciously, you know, because all of those programs are played out subconsciously. Something's happened in our life and our brain just picks up one of the programs that seems like it's the most suitable one here and gets us into that behavior or into that thinking. And if it's gone, then you obviously can feel lost at certain situations that used to use the program, but it's not there, so it needs something new. But until that new one is in place, like there is that void of like, ooh, that's weird, or like, yeah, that feels scary, like, wow, I don't know what to do here, something along those lines. Action. 2 of Cups clarified by 2 of Wands, and look at this 2 of Wands. Oh, I love it in this deck, so beautiful. And even 2 of Cups, it has very much a twin sense to it. So they know that this connection is the answer, that this is their feminine is their match, that even if they haven't met the feminine, they feel like there is that perfect someone. They know it, they are taking action towards it. So at the very least, they're taking, if they don't know who their feminine is, they know that they're supposed to go for a real thing, and they shouldn't settle with anything less than beautiful. That feels right, that where we have the same direction in life, where we feel connected on the soul level, where we help each other be better versions of ourselves, and we inspire each other rather than nag on each other and get disappointed or get that feeling of resentment. For those who know their DFs, that's their realization. That's a lot of it is inspired by that specific person of like, this is so much different than what I had before, right? It feels better, and like I can, maybe not necessarily I can get to this place in like one step, right? That's still scary, but I feel like I want to do that, and like something tells me that the other person wants it too. So I better get my shit together and go into that direction and start taking steps, because this is the action part. This is 3D. So they make a decision. The 2 of Wands is decision making to walk towards this soul connection, because it purifies them, it nourishes them so much that it's almost like they don't need to think about it for much longer. They're just supposed to take action in that direction and just see what's there, what's next, how they can make it work. Oh my god, feelings towards the connection. Queen of Swords clarified by 4 of Wands. So they're taking a very honest look at, this is a very different Queen of Swords that you would normally have. So there is no roughness or shrewdness to it. There's no criticism. It's more like, okay, so let's talk. Let's see what we're dealing with here. But this is a very honest look. of how ready they are for this commitment, and what is the right thing to do next in terms of communication, in terms of working on their own karmic scenarios, and clearing some things out, tying up some loose ends, right? Like, what do they need to do? They're taking a very honest look. Like, this is what my union will look like, this is how I see it, and now I'm getting like specifics of like, what am I supposed to do to get there? Like, they're getting very practical about it, very logical about it, right? So if in that action space we saw cups, where like a lot of it is like motivated by the soul space, by the feelings and emotions, here we see specifically like, okay, let's make a to-do list, let's draw a plan, right? Like, let's look at the timelines, when can I achieve what, that sort of idea. Okay, let's get some messages from masculines to feminines now. What would they like to share? What's on their mind and heart right now? Messages for feminines watching. Okay, I got 3. Not too talkative today, but I'm sensing immediately that it's because there is a lot going on behind the scenes. It's like I need to figure out my stuff first before I'm ready to talk. That kind of feeling that I'm getting. I regret everything that happened. So that's one of the things they're revisiting now. How do I correct my course, right? Like, what is it supposed to be? I do see twin flame signs. Yeah, that's very much what we saw with that 2 of Cups, 2 of Wands energy. I struggle to express my love and feelings, so I keep it to myself. Yeah, so we just talked about it, that there is a certain void where like this is like they're in the middle of certain karmic clearance where they've got rid of the old patterns, but they haven't come up with a new healthy one. So there is that part where I keep things to myself for now because they are figuring out their world. One little piece of advice that I'm getting for the feminines watching is, if you are in communication with your DMs this time, it's important to give them that support, encouragement, or light guidance, light advice if you can, right, on how to move forward. Maybe you can provide some resources that they can turn to, where they can get some good information on how to build healthy relationships, right, or how to deal with certain struggle energetically, right, because they are a twin anyway. Like, even if they approach different questions from a more karmic perspective, more 3D perspective, let's put it that way, there's still a divine being with that kind of energy, with that potential, with their giftings, right? So it's important that they recognize that part and they know how to deal with that as well. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Check out my other channel for the equinox guidance.